Well, hello, everybody, and hello, Sissy. How was your week this week, Sissy?
My week was great, Lance. How about yours?
Good. I can't complain. I did the old Taste of Newton this last week here, and that was always unforgettable as always.
Right?
Yeah.
Lots of people.
Oh, lots of food, lots of everything. And I had pork burger, and then I had some jambalaya, and by the time I got to the top of that, I had to put it away for today.
Oh, did you get any dessert?
I did not get any dessert.
Yeah.
No, the lines were long. You know, you can't complain about it, but when you're taking a bunch of youngsters like I did, it's kind of, we don't want to go too long. Because if we go too long, then no one's going to have any fun on the way back. But
True.
we live in a good location there, so we were within walking distance. We enjoyed a nice walk. It was a little breezy, but, the Taste of Newton is a thing. There's all kinds of things going on there. There's all kinds of demonstrations. I saw some Taekwondo demonstration. I think the cheerleaders do some things, and there's just a lot going on there.
Awesome. Yeah.
I didn't get any turkey legs, Sissy.
But you got the tomahawk pork chop.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, I could have. I've got a pork burger this time.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So if I misspoke, I did not get the pork chop. I got a pork burger.
I see.
So, and then some jambalayas. And then on the turkey leg, I had talked to some nice people that were next to me, and they told me where the turkey legs were at. And then I lost interest by the time I got to the end of the line.
Yeah. Yeah, there was a
wait
lot.
like 30
a lot of
minutes for that.
offerings this year.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was always fun as always. So, I don't know. I guess it's been a few weeks now. Everybody knows we haven't done our program in a couple weeks, and there were some reasons behind that. I hope everybody is enjoying, and when they get the opportunity to watch the Newton City Commission and the USD 373 school board race forums. And surprisingly, and I want to cover it right up front before we get too deep, Sissy, there were some people that commented both for and against. And I was kind of surprised why, but it came down to the fact that they just didn't know that there was a forum. And then once found out that there was a forum, they didn't understand why it was a private event where nobody, you couldn't just freely show up.
Right.
And as I'm getting this information communicated to me, I'm thinking, well, I don't know how you wouldn't know. I mean, the Kansan had an article in there. There was an opinion in the Kansan saying that we did it on, I don't know, I guess it'd be here not too long ago. Would it be in the Saturday, September 30th paper? So it's been a minute since we've been doing this, hasn't it, Sissy?
Yep.
My goodness. But, Chad, I'm thinking Chad wrote it. It was the Kansan editorial staff is what it says here. But anyway, it's just the whole point about the opinion is that they're not going to make any kind of an endorsement, and don't expect the Kansan to make an endorsement. I don't know. I might make an endorsement of some kind at some point in time, but we're getting down to the skinny. I really want for people to just be informed. I want for people to take the time to do it, right? And why it was so important to capture it digitally is because even if you had a forum, some people might not be able to attend because of the day.
Right.
It needs to be good digital quality production. We did that. We had 30 people or so show up. So we didn't even hit our max capacity, but we're also dealing with a venue that has a maximum allowed capacity.
Right.
And I just want to walk this back for everybody, okay? Because we were doing this for the first time, we needed a venue that was going to work for it to be digitally captured and projected. You get into a fine line of where when you're in a room and you have speakers projecting information out into the greater body while still trying to record it, it gets a little bit difficult. So we went and searched and found a venue that was designed before they had electronics.
Right.
So if you're standing on a stage in this location, the room was designed to have the type of acoustics necessary for everybody in the room to hear it, even though you were not talking into a microphone and projecting that information.
Right.
So you're just that's what we did. And it wasn't anything personal or to exclude anybody. There's nothing that anybody saw that was there that you can't catch on the digital medium, Sissy. But I mean, not to be frustrated, I guess I just got to kick the ball your direction. How would you not know?
Well, I think that advertising on our show here on Facebook, on Instagram Reels, on the YouTube, folks that may have complained about not knowing about it or not being on the guest list or whatever. Maybe they were not informed because they don't listen or watch our show,
Or the Kansan. Maybe they don't read the Kansan.
Right. I thought about that too. I think the most important thing is we're relying on word of mouth. Mm-hmm. And I know a lot of folks do tune in, and we're grateful for all of you that do that and support us and support the community by sharing that information out. But certainly there are going to be some other forums coming up.
I know that there is one forum coming up this coming Tuesday. So here this week at the Newton Area Senior Center, and that will be a great opportunity. But even then, if you talk about venue size,
mm-hmm.
I mean, their building and what they're holding is no bigger than the one we were.
Right. And hopefully that information has been out other than us breaking that news. I'm certain that they've been sharing information about that in the other media avenues. But, encourage folks to tune in. This is a big part of what we do every time we're on is to bring the upcoming events to the community and to the county, and whoever else might be going to drive in to see some folks over that weekend. They can, come in from out of town, right?
One person specifically asked me, why they didn't see about it in the paper. And I said, well, it was in the Kansan. Well, they don't get the Kansan, they get the Harvey County Now, and they wanted to know why the Harvey County Now did not publish in their paper that was going to be the case. And I said, I don't know. Call them.
Right. Yeah. That is a question,
normally the Chamber of Commerce, the Newton Chamber of Commerce and Harvey County Now together do a forum. I was really hoping that would be the case, that we would be able to look forward to that too.
Right.
Plan on attending. I don't know why they're not doing it, but they're not doing it.
Okay.
So call them. I don't know.
Right.
I mean, that's we did our best. We put our best foot forward. We did something a little bit different. There were some things, because I'm a critical person, looking at that we could do better next time, but we did a pretty good job.
Well, I think the most important thing is we met the brief that we set for ourselves, right? Yeah. And our other partners that were involved in that. And we wanted to have a get to know you forum of who the candidates are, what the candidates stand for, a little bit of candidate history, so to speak. So, I really think that we did the community a service by digitally capturing that, editing that up, polishing it up, and sending that out. I know it's most likely is helping the candidates. I have not yet talked with any of the candidates myself personally, but I do know that some of the shorts and clips were shared to some of their Facebook pages.
Been watching it, monitoring it myself.
I mean, we met the brief. We set some goals. We talked with them. We were very transparent, and I think that to start off the forum season leading up to Election Day, especially with early voting, I think the timing was just perfect.
Well, so you'd be surprised at the amount of people that got the little of their feathers ruffled over this deal. I had people actually from one political party telling me that I should not have a forum because there wasn't very many good of their prospective candidates that were going to be up there. And so they didn't want to give anybody any, and I'm just like, huh?
Wow.
That's not what I believe in. I'm all about, having this open and free exchange of ideas. And I wasn't sure because partisan races or nonpartisan races, and it just gets confusing. I think it gets back into this whole thing where people just want to make sure what's good for them is good for them. And if it looks like it's not good for them, then they're not going to show up.
Oh, I see.
Speaking of that.
Yeah.
There was only 2 people that didn't show up to the forum.
Well, I didn't think there were. I think we had the majority.
Yeah, one school board member, which would be School Board President Mallory Morton. I guess she had a different thing she had to do. I don't know. I would think it would be very important, in my opinion, to make sure that you were here to be able to be at a forum, so that way your voice could be heard to those that are sitting there, that take the time, that want to care. But I'm sure there's an alternate argument that can happen for that won't ever happen publicly. Anywho, speaking of that, Melanie Watson, not heard anything from her since then. So I don't know.
Nor I.
Okay.
So hopefully she's getting out there. I do know that she created a campaign page on the Facebook. So I'm following that for updates. I haven't really seen any, but it just depends on the individual person and what they have time to do, what they want to do, and putting themselves out there. So it'll be interesting to see. Early voting starts, I believe, the 24th. I think the deadline to register is the 17th.
It's coming pretty close, people.
Which is Tuesday.
If you don't get registered right away, upon hearing this program, it's too late.
Right.
And, speaking of this, man, we were not going to rest on this forever, Sissy. We had kind of an agenda of things we were going to talk about, but it just goes back to this. I mean, I got to say this to the audience, okay? As many of you know, I do write a opinion or in the Newton Kansan about once a month. It was about a year ago or a little more. I was just really encouraging people to pick the right person. That we need to, it was find out who these people are, search these people out, find out what their credentials are, talk to them. Let's be an informed voting block here as a community, if you want to call it that. So anyway, as I was writing some of this stuff, I literally had made the comment, we need to make sure that we pick the best person possible for this job. The person with the most leadership skills, the person who has a history of being a leader. Okay. Mm-hmm. Now, with any writing for the mass audience, dependent upon how you view your candidate, that very well could be just hyping you up. Mm-hmm. Yes, that we need to elect this person, my candidate, the person that's the best leader, that's got the best qualified skills, that's got. Mm-hmm. And so you would be amazed at how people will interpret your words however they want to hear your words being interpreted, and it's always conducive to election time. You notice that? People drink some kind of Kool-Aid on the election time. It's like driving around and looking at people that have signs of these certain people in their yard, and I'm sure you could say the same about me at any given time, but truth be told, I'm in the mix, right? I'm very critical of elected officials and their choices and what they choose to do, and hold them accountable. That's what I do. If you haven't noticed yet, that's what I do. So when you have a certain elected official that's made some choices that just kind of do it for me, I'm just not going to vote for you anymore. I'm not going to hear what you have to say, type of a thing at this point in time, because, well, honestly, you're not the person that I voted for in the past. So are these people just not informed, Sissy?
Well, I think that, especially in local elections, I think we're going off of familiarity, right? Most of all of these folks are known folks or live right here in the community, and you may get to know them. You may not know who they are. You may not have ever heard their name. But I think it's really important that we not be in feelings when we're casting a vote. We really need to pay attention to, especially incumbents, right? We need to pay attention to their track records, what their voting history is like. Yeah. Some of the, go back and watch the digitally captured meetings and hearings and things like that. Find out how they interact with the public, right? But find out how they vote, Sissy, right?
I wish this would be the case. You're an informed voter. I'm an informed voter. We're educated. We want to be educated, okay? But I still ask the question here. I watch the Newton City Commission on Facebook. There's not even a handful of people half the time that show up that's not staff, right? Mm-hmm. And then from there, there's like 10, 15 people watching. Mm-hmm. If it's a hot button issue, might be up to 100. Thousands of people vote. So who are you voting for? And what are you voting for them based on? Mm-hmm. I mean, if you go up to somebody's door, and I've done this canvassing, and you are somebody who's running for office, you knock on the door, you tell them why you're running for office. Let's say you want to have lower taxes, or you think that maybe the city's not spending their money right, or the school board needs to not do this or should have done this, and that's why I'm running. There are people that will stand there and look at you blankly in the face because they have no idea who they voted for or what the person is doing that they voted for. You could be like, well, did you not know that for the last 4 years they've raised your taxes? What? I mean, I don't know. Right. Because they show up to your door or make a phone call once a year for 5 minutes to stroke your ego probably is not the best person what happened to people voting for the most qualified, best
Well, see, that's the thing. That's where the feelings come in, right?
Yeah. Well, I mean,
right. It's an emotional response, right? So sometimes we can look at someone, a new face or a new voice, and we can immediately be turned off because that just doesn't jive with us, right? But we have to be able to get past that. And I think not voting with our feelings and not relying on familiarity is important, because we may like that person. That person might be like our grocer or our dentist, or somebody that takes a payment for something somewhere in the county or in the town or whatever, and or teaches our kids or whatever. We may know them. We may actually like them. We might have dinner with them twice a month, right? Yeah. Families, but how do we know that if we cast the vote in confidence and give them our confidence that they will consistently? We don't, right? It's a 50-50 gamble. Yeah. And so if you can do it without emotion, and you can look back at that history, and then you can trust your gut, right? Because you have that, right? Yeah. Even if it's a mistake. I mean, I voted Obama twice. It was a huge mistake. The first time and the second time, right? Sissy. But I was informed because I was only listening to the people who were supporting him. Yeah. I was not branching out.
Oh, there was a lot of people that got buyer's remorse when it came to Obama.
Well, I just brought that in as an example of even me. I'm educated. I'm more educated than I was then, but I can compartmentalize my personal feelings for someone. Yeah. Whether for or against, and look at, are they the best person for the job? And I think that's where we're at. Yeah. And we need to be there. We need to not be anywhere else. We need to be zeroed in on, is this the right person for the job? And if not, well, we'll learn. Yeah. And then we'll vote different later.
You hope. But the power of incumbency is something else. Yeah. I only got a couple more things I want to cover, Sissy. Did you know that one man here, I guess it would have been, Thursday, October 3rd in the Newton, Kansan, it says on front page, man arrested after fight involving gunfire. Did you hear about that?
Is that the one that had like the 3 people involved in it? Yes, I did see something about that.
Shooting at people but missing.
Yeah. Maybe he missed on purpose.
I mean, it's never a good idea to shoot at anybody. No matter how heated an argument gets, especially like,
I don't know.
I don't want to get to, but what it says here in the paper, it seems like a gentleman obviously decided that he was going to be in an altercation with his lovely missus. And there was another, seems to be gentleman, quite possibly involved in this situation at the time. And, I guess got mad and pointed a gun at a couple people and shot a couple times at them. Because that just is what we do.
Yeah,
okay,
I don't know.
So more for things falling apart. Moving over to, I can combine 2 things together.
Okay.
Things that are falling apart, buyer's remorse when it comes to people voting for other people, and just ask the question, in ignorance here, what's the problem with the county commission has with West Park? Okay, we could not update our showers. We covered that in the past. That was a no. So then, we did or we didn't or however we go. And now West Park Bank Restoration Project is killed.
Killed. Wow, that is some language.
Yeah, and it's in 2019. There was some flooding damage. There's a picture here in East Park, 6 areas of West Park, including an area that placed access road to the park at risk. Okay. So anyway, what happened was they went through and they kind of looked at it and they decided, they could do some things to shore up the bank and make sure that hopefully that a little less erosion over time type of a thing. And then, the normal no voted no. And then somebody else voted no. And I'm just like, wow, about how many times in the paper over the last 6 weeks, it's the county choosing not to fund things that have to do with the parks. And I get that, you guys provide roads. Thanks. You guys provide, many things. Okay. The county does. Yes.
Right.
But as far as like amenities are concerned, doesn't look like anybody really invests a whole lot of money in our parks as far as our county park is concerned, or like our 4-H and whatnot that goes on, the fairgrounds and all that. look the same they were when I was a kid. I mean, I volunteered to go up there and put brand new boards on some, we're only placing half the boards this year type of a thing. And it's like, there's no money placed into that really. There's no money placed into West Park. You're just now getting some stuff out at Camp Hawk. But even then, and I'm not doing this to talk trash. I just don't understand why, when you're dealing with choosing to spend a little bit of money here or there, why wouldn't it be a priority to ensure that we have nice, clean, operational county parks, which are an amenity, one of the few county amenities that actually just go to you being able to go somewhere and enjoy your family at free of charge. I mean, you ain't got to camp. It doesn't cost you money to just be there. It doesn't cost you money to use the bathroom or take a shower or, what's the deal? So, sorry, Sissy. I know I'm getting through. Oh, here we are again. September 26th, political forums coming to downtown. Okay, so there was like there's 2 papers, 3 papers. And then last but not least, it turns out that the gentleman Tyler Lee Ford that was found at East Lake Park dead of a gunshot wound on September 17th was in fact not killed in Harvey County. I think we I don't know if we've covered this on the program yet.
We did speculate that that might have been the place he ended up.
Yeah. So the question then became, well, where does the individual that dropped the body off here in Harvey County get prosecuted? And it's it's in Hutchinson, and that's what they're going to do there and stuff. But that's not like the first time people come and just drop bodies off in Harvey County.
This is true. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. This is not the place to do that. We don't want that here. So
that's what I brought to the table this week.
Keep that out of the bubble.
I'm full and full of it, people.
All right. So I have a couple of things. Are you ready?
Yes, I am ready.
I just want to give another shout out to Mr. Craig Nye. He does our Harvey County Sports Connection.
Yes.
I have really enjoyed listening to him. I love his energy. I love that he covers everything sports related in the county, which obviously he would, but he is very diligent in definitely trying to get as much information out to us listeners. And, way to go, Craig.
Yeah.
Keep up.
He's good.
Yeah.
He's good. I know from the first one to the second one to the third one to the fourth. I mean, we're moving on down. It's like, wow, people.
Yeah.
Wow. So if you don't know, you can follow, and share Harvey County Sports Connection with Craig Nye. They have their own Facebook page now, so you can follow them. They will still be uploaded through Harvey County Talk on our YouTube and our Rumble. So, at least for the duration.
Yeah,
he's glad to have him on board.
He's rocking it. He's a rock star.
Hey,
rock star.
And then if you need to email him, I call it Gmail him. It's sportsinharveycounty@gmail.com.
Okay.
sportsinharveycounty@gmail.com.
There you
go. Do
go.
that for stats. Send the guy pictures. This only grows as long as the community continues to get and stay engaged.
That's right.
This is your program, people.
Yeah. So speaking of.
Yes.
We have want to give another reminder to Cadillac Jack Steakhouse coming in Old Mill here in Newton. I am very excited to try that.
Yes.
And I'm hoping that they're opening soon. It said 1st of October they hope to be open, but I did see, and I shared that on my social medias, that they are taking applications for their kitchen team. So check out Cadillac Jack Steakhouse at Old Mill Plaza on the Facebook, and you can too see the progress.
Well, maybe they could just hire everybody from Gertie's that no longer is going to be able to work at Gertie's. That would be a great exchange.
It could be, yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. Cajun Crab also, I think, is hiring a few folks.
Yeah.
So, there's that. Cajun Crab, 1728 North Main in Newton.
So far, so too expensive for my taste, Sissy.
Yeah.
It's not that I don't want to go in there and do it.
I'm allergic, so
I would be perfectly fine.
Yeah.
No, I don't want to tact like you guys did everybody on social media when they said that it was too expensive for their taste. I'm just saying it's too expensive for my taste. No need to attack me. Okay. I'm not saying your prices are too high. Okay. Or anything of the sort. Don't attack me. It's just too expensive for my taste.
Well,
I don't go to Scotch and sirloin either.
Right.
Well,
everybody has a budget. Everybody has reasons. Like I said, I'm allergic. I'd love to go try their food at least once, but I cannot.
Yeah.
So, other people have given some positive feedback as well as some negative. So, I mean, that's the way it always goes with something new.
Some have thinner skin than others.
Yeah.
I don't know. Moving on.
All right. So some October events coming up. Halloween is right around the corner. And if you partake of the Halloween festivities, the 29th annual downtown Halloween walk for the Littles is going to be sponsored by the Newton Lions Club.
Gotta love Lions Club.
On October 31st from 5:30 to 7 in the heart of downtown. And also the Burton City is offering a trunk or treat from 5:30 to 7 p.m. on their main street in Burton, Kansas. The after prom committee will be serving pizza, cookies, and drinks. So there you go.
Well, speaking of the Lions Club, the Taste of Newton. Boy, you're just taking me all over the place, Sissy, because while I was at the Taste of Newton, all of a sudden a lion went walking by me and they said, "Hey, Lance."
Hey.
And it turned out it was Dan.
Oh,
and I thought, by goodness, that is the man.
Yeah.
Dan, you are the
Dan
man.
the man.
And not only that, you came out here, you promoted lions.
Yep.
Turns out you're going to be like a Newton Citizen of the Year. You're the Newton Citizen of the Year. Is that? I don't know.
Saw that.
That's right. Wow.
Yeah, another rock star.
Thank you for coming out and letting us interview you before we even knew that any of these things would be graced with you, Dan. Right. And we appreciate you. Always appreciate you and everything you do. And the trunk or treat, that's the Lions Club thing.
Halloween walk.
Oh, man. Halloween walk.
Trunk or treat is Burton after prom.
Okay. Well, I got it mixed up in my brain just
Well, there might be some other trunk or treats. I mean, who knows, right? Yeah. I haven't really seen too much from the other cities in the county, but, hey.
And speaking of Lions Club and doing things in the community, there might be a connection with the fact that when Dan was out here, we were having a conversation. He said, man, the Lions Club is growing. They're doing a good job. And, I saw that they were out doing a pickup. Like you could go out and they were doing scheduled pickup along Sand Creek here. I mean, they are out in the public, in the view, doing things for people.
You're talking about the beautification.
Picking up along.
Picking trash up, things like that. Yeah.
Inviting and giving kids opportunities during, what do you call that?
Volunteer service.
Yeah, volunteer service hours or whatever. Yeah.
Okay. So real quick, I want to go through. I have 4 early November things coming up real quick.
Okay.
All right. So on the 4th, there's a chili cook-off in Burton again at the City Auditorium from 4 to 7 p.m. Again, November 4th. And that is going to be put on by Charity Shines and the First Christian Church. So go check that out. On the 7th, the Newton Lions Club is doing a pancake feed from 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. at the Newton Rec Center. On the 11th of November is the Christmas Market. It's the 35th annual from 8 a.m. to 2 p.m. at the Newton Rec Center. For more information on that, including to register as a vendor, is 316-283-7330. And last but not least, on the 12th of November, the 38th annual Newton Toy Run put on by the Harvey County chapter of the Salvation Army. This year is going to be in memory of Wayne Kemp, and it is going to benefit the children of Harvey County who are in need of, our parents in need, or kids in need of help to buy Christmas gifts. So the arrival time for riders should be noon at the Chisholm Trail Center, or the old outlet mall, and the ride will begin at 1 p.m. So what a great cause. I love that. Yeah. And I like to see all the motorcycles.
Sissy, you're showing some love to Burton. Yeah. I like the barn too, by the way.
Yeah.
We had them as the Eatery of the Week for multiple times.
We did.
But they're always, you need to follow them on their social media because they update items and things like that that they're doing in the sale for the day and stuff like that. And the barn really kind of rocks. And it's not that far away from Newton, people. It's nice to get over there and help them out. It really is.
I forgot something. Oh my gosh! I can't believe I forgot this.
Better
right?
Not be forgetting anything.
This shocked my socks off. Not really, but kind of.
Shocking socks.
Can't really lose my socks today. Right? It's like 50. But the Halstead Bentley Unified School District number 440, right here in the county, is going to implement some electric school buses. into their fleet. I am very excited about that because I have heard nothing but horror stories about electric vehicle catching fire and things like that. So not to spread alarm for the children, I'm sure they've tested and retested and all that stuff if they put them in school buses. But it's very interesting that we actually have a school district in the county that is going to be implementing that. I believe they had something on their Facebook page talking about the public can tour those school buses, or that one school bus. I'm not sure how many there are tonight at their football game. So anyway.
Oh, well, it's too late for that now, isn't it, Sissy?
If you're paying attention to the social medias, you will see that invitation.
Well, and wow, you just blew my mind. I had not heard that information before. I just wouldn't think that would be a great idea, but okay. And I will say this, speaking of something in Burton, they're going to a 4-day school week.
Yes, yeah. we have mentioned that on the program. We had speculated many things about how Newton might benefit from that, but who knows?
Well, never know what Newton USD 373 is going to do right now.
Yeah. Well, speaking of green projects, renewable energies, things like that are in the local tidbits of information that float across our social medias and our kitchen tables and so on and so forth. On the 17th of October, which is next Tuesday, the Harvey County Planning and Zoning Board will have a meeting at 7 p.m. at the courthouse in the community room. That's at 800 North Main Street here in Newton, regarding the wind, solar, renewable energy regulations. So I am assuming that is information only. I did not see any explanation of whether or not they are having a public forum time for comment, but they have a long list of agenda items posted on the Harvey County Government Facebook page. So if you're curious about that, check it out. Yeah. I'm curious about it. But, I don't know. I don't know how I feel about it. I mean, I've said what I said before about the individual citizen should be able to choose whether or not they put that kind of stuff on their land and have their own reasons, but and whether or not I believe the government should have a right to dictate that they cannot.
Well, I'm fossil fuels all the way,
so,
people. We should never move away from oil.
We're on two sides of the fence on that. So.
Oil is clean. Oil is good. Oil is way better than wind energy or solar power. Absolutely. Oil is better in every way, shape, or form.
Yeah.
Coal is better. Coal is better.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm not a total greenie, but I just, individual sovereignty is a big deal to me. And if you got to feed your kids, you put a windmill on, they'll pay you, So that's kind of where I'm at. So
yeah,
I have some stuff here I'm looking for, but you go ahead.
Sadly. Oh, you're going to throw it back on me?
No.
I was going to say, you're throwing me for a loop, Sissy. Did we cover the fact that I was speaking of the USD 373 school board? Did we cover that school board member Matt Treaster resigned?
I think you and I conversated about that, but I don't think we've said anything on the show.
Just in time for wrestling season?
I did see that he's going to be an assistant coach for either gearing up this year or maybe next year. I'm not exactly sure, but he's on to bigger and better things.
Well, thanks for all you do and did. We really appreciate you.
Yeah. So it should be interesting after the vote. I did see something though that after the election, that they should be able to place someone within 15 days to cover his spot. So, because I know right now they still have a quorum, but they're not a fully functioning 7-person body right now. So
I don't know. Maybe it's a good thing right now. Dropping one school board member might mean just a little less to have to deal with.
Yeah, I don't know. There's some good potential candidates that I listened to at the forum. So I'm interested to see how I know who I'm voting for.
I don't know. I mean, you wait. What do you mean? How do you know who you're voting for? There was one person that wasn't there.
There's one person that wasn't there.
Moment of silence. Moment of silence.
I don't know, but out of the people that I saw at the forum, I know who I'm voting for the school board. I cannot nail down who I'm voting for yet for the city commission. So I am still contemplating histories and backgrounds and voting records and so on and so forth.
Well, there's definitely more people to pick from on the school board than there is on the city, if you want to look at it like that.
I got to just say this, and I told you this, so bear with me. I just really enjoy listening to Kathy Valentine speak. Mm-hmm. I told you, I said, after I said it, I felt like a total heel when I said it to her, and I like fangirled or something. I don't really know, but she has the voice. I want her to read me a story.
Oh, grandmother story.
Right. I love her voice.
Maybe she said,
I don't know.
Well, I don't want to go. No.
So it's something weird about me. I don't know, but I love your voice, Kathy. Thank you.
Kathy is a nice lady.
Yeah.
Kathy is a very nice lady.
Yeah.
There's not really much bad you can say about it. I know we've had our tiff-tiffs in the past, Miss Valentine, when it comes to a difference in opinion when it comes to policy making. But it's always a good time to see Miss Valentine.
Sure.
And I think she's going to do a good job if she's reelected again.
Sure. Absolutely. Yeah. We'll have to just wait and see.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. The school board deal, man, I don't know. I haven't talked to Chad yet. He's going to be coming on the program next week. And, by the way, Sissy will not be with us this week. She's having a bye week.
Yep. I'm going to bye week.
Sissy needs a bye week. So it'll just be Chad and I next week. So look forward to that. But I kind of wanted to get his take on the school board.
Yeah.
Too. Because we haven't talked or cussed or discussed. And, he's a pretty independent-minded thinker. And he might just hold it close to his chest on who he would vote for anyway, just because he wouldn't want anybody to think that possibly it was the Kansan. It's like one of those things where when you represent an organization and then you try to say that you're just speaking on behalf of yourself, that, well, this is just my free speech. I'm not wearing the hat of my position right now. I'm just,
right.
So I think that's kind of disingenuous and confuses people. I think there's actually people do that on purpose.
Yeah.
It's kind of like, well, I'm the mayor, but I'm not telling you as the mayor that you should vote for somebody.
He's not going to tell you.
I'm just telling you as, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'm not the mayor.
He won't.
Not Leroy, not Rod. I'm not talking about you guys, but I'm just saying in it's just, oh man, Sissy, when you got your radar up and you're watching all the things that are happening and stuff, and then you know what other people are doing, and it's just what a mess, man.
It can be, yeah.
It's just a mess.
Yeah.
It's a mess. It's a mess. We're still, our school board is a mess still to this day. I think we need new leadership.
Yeah. Well, we'll see what happens on voting day.
Let's only hope.
Yeah.
Let's only hope that we don't have another, I don't know how long of what we've had to endure with this irrational decision making by the president of the school board.
Yeah. All right. So
I didn't say it.
Did you happen to see what's going on in the Middle East right now?
Yes, Sissy, that's something else.
I don't know how much time we have, so I don't want to get into, I'm sure everybody's inundated, but I did want to bring up something very important that may or may not have anything to do with what's going on right now in Israel and between the Palestinian people and the Israelis. Okay. So have you heard of BRICS?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
So BRICS, BRICKS, is a well, I don't want to stop you, Sissy, but let's back up. Conglomerate of countries, right?
Maybe people don't. Let's just say, because there is that situation that could be that somebody doesn't know what's going on in Israel and Palestine right now. But basically Hamas, who's a terror organization that hails from Palestine, whether they love each other or not, or whether one's a state organization or not, and all this other thing in Iran and everything, Saudi. Okay, we all know there's this long-standing history of contention that seems to be taking place there. And up until recently, for the most part, it was pretty, I don't know, I'm not going to say lucrative peace, but I'm going to say there was the going back and forth from the West Bank to, so they could work. There was a lot of this going on. A lot of security was down. Very lax, trying to, on Israel's behalf, to make sure that they were copacetic, right? And that they were in an active effort to try to have as peaceful of a situation as possible. That's the real deal, okay? So then all of a sudden, there's a terrorist attack by Hamas on Israel. This was a week or two ago. Sis and I wanted to pop in and do a program. We couldn't, so we figured we'd just put it off till now. So everybody should have an opportunity to know what's going on here, whether you know much about the history, whether you don't know who Hamas is or Palestine or whatever the case may be or anything. You know these two countries are engaging and they're at war. Mm-hmm. Issue being now, what, 1,500 people are gone?
A lot.
Okay. So history would dictate that Israel and Palestine always have world and global attention. There is, U.S. has been a long-standing ally of Israel. There are others like Iran that are long-standing allies of Palestine, of Hamas. Mm-hmm. They've operated this way. So now we're at this boiling point, right? And we're in a complete all-out war, and some have even said that they believe that deals that were made previously through other past presidential situations with Iran gave them money that they put into money. Okay, all this is all opinion and hypothetical, and we're not going to go into all that. We're not going to research this today. But Sissy brought on to a point. Like, we're not talking about just this war going on. There were things that were happening before this little interaction that might have quite possibly had something to do with it. I don't know. But Sissy, teach us, who's the BRICS? What's the BRICS?
Well, BRICS is a 11 nation now as of August of this year. They added 6 new nations to the original 5. So there are now 11 nations that are involved in this. And the reason it's called BRICS is because that's the original 5 countries that started it. And it's Brazil, Russia, India, China, and South Africa. Well, they increased their number to 11 back in August and added Argentina, Egypt, Iran, Ethiopia, Saudi Arabia, and the United Arab Emirates, or the UAE. Now, about half of those countries involved in BRICS are the United States allies, right? They've declared alliance with us. They're our friend, as far as that goes, right? And then the other parts are not, right? They're adversarial, right? Yeah. Russia, China, things like that. So with the addition of Iran and Saudi Arabia, I was a little bit perplexed, because I would not think that Iran would be accepted by Saudi Arabia, because Saudi Arabia was a part of the Abraham Accords that President Trump did in 2017, 2018, 2019, somewhere in there, which meant peace with Israel, and I believe it was the UAE was the third country. I may be wrong on that, but I know Saudi Arabia and Israel signed a 3-way peace treaty, right? So then we have this thing with Hamas, and it's very important that the listeners and the watchers know, if they don't already, that Hamas is a militant Palestinian nationalist and Islamic movement.
Yes.
Or Islamist movement, excuse me. And that is located on the West Bank in the Gaza Strip, which is still part of Israel.
Yes.
It's not its own country.
Yes.
But Israel has given them that territory and ceded that to them because they wanted to live in their own community, just like the Israelis wanted to live in their own community. Okay, so that was a way to seek peace, right? Well, it's an ongoing battle of religious ideologies that has gone back centuries, right? It's nothing new there. Yeah. But the reason I'm bringing BRICS in is because in some of these countries that are now involved in this NATO alternative coalition, if you will, I'm just not sure how they're going to, this conglomeration of countries is going to interact with NATO, right? Because we all know what NATO is, right? Yeah. So Iran has been declared and is still the largest state-sponsored terror funder, right? If that's the proper terminology.
I would go with that.
Okay. So with Iran being adopted into this new coalition, I worry that these other countries that are not our allies also may sponsor militant groups, and that we may see through BRICS and through these networks of whatever BRICS does with oil and natural gas and things like that, that we might see countries like Qatar and Lebanon and Bahrain and potentially Egypt, right? And we know Egypt is part of BRICS now. Turkey, right? All the militant groups have a green light to then rise up, right? And then we will have convergence. And that is really, I think, completely dependent upon Saudi Arabia. So we will need to be really watching and really talking about compartmentalizing our emotions and our fears, and we need to look at history and stick to facts.
Yeah.
Right. Because if we do not believe everything you see being shared on social media.
Oh.
Go to history books, not Google.
Yeah.
Go to your library, get a book. Right? Some people are relying on scripture right now. There's a lot of talk about end times. There's a lot of talk about War of Armageddon, all this starting. Yeah. Wherever you're at, right, information-wise, wherever you're at gut level-wise, just really, really seek to search fact-based information as much as possible. Because there's already been things that I've seen coming out of Israel in favor of Israel, and things coming out of the Gaza Strip in favor of the innocent Hamas. Palestinian people there that are obviously AI generated.
Well, that's
the scary part about stuff like this. We've been talking about that with Ukraine.
Yes.
For weeks now.
Yes.
Right. Mm-hmm. We don't know. We can't trust anything.
Well, you can't, and that's the thing is I wish people really understood. You don't throw the baby out with the bathwater. Okay. Social media, it's not like, oh, nothing's real on social media, so I should just get rid of it all and just put my head in the sand. I mean, by that train of thought, I'm better if I don't have the internet. I'm better if I don't have, that's what I need. I don't need email. I don't need the internet. I need to just do away with all of it instead of actually using it as a tool and just being a thinker, a critical thinker to say, well, I know I'm seeing this, but where's the other factual evidence to back up what I'm seeing, right? And then, oh man, Sissy, AI and all that, nothing's real. Where are you at then, right? And then coupled with the fact that this, I think it's worth mentioning too when it comes to that whole situation and the areas, attach a country name to that or a cock or whatever.
Right.
Okay, way far away, which we've expelled so many of our own lives here in the United States to try to bring about freedom for people and to fight. We can't even say it anymore, but we all know what we were fighting, and it's rearing its ugly head again, most likely because we can't say it anymore without being turned off or canceled out or anything. Anyway, I was reading something, and we hear all the time about people coming in, refugees coming in from the southern border and this and that. And then you hear, we need to lock the southern border down. And we have all of this going on. But we're literally seeing more and more as we go along, like Syrians, Iraqis, Afghanistan. How are these able-bodied men? And you hear this a lot. Able-bodied men that they're the ones that are getting asylum here. And it's like, and here's the thing too. I find it interesting how a lot of times people act like individuals, like let's say you were born in Iraq or Afghanistan. I'm born in Afghanistan. Okay. So when I'm 16 or 17 years old and my entire way of thinking has been taught that the U.S. occupation there was bad, that we're talking perspective here, people. Okay. So then when you get all of that out there on the table, and then this person is told by their countrymen or by the organization in which holds the military power at the time, you're going to come and you're going to start shooting at the enemy or you're going to die right now. Is that voluntary participation? And if that's the case, then should those individuals be the ones that were blamed for,
right?
Like, what do you expect them to do?
Right.
Die right now because they don't going to pick up arms against a U.S. soldier because, well, and it gets very close to home for us. But the question then becomes, backing it up, why are we bringing in all of these able-bodied men? I mean, I can understand us being a refuge for women and children, but why are we not seeing women and children?
Well, and you said something a minute ago that they're conscripted into military service. Some of these countries do require that, right? For this age group of folks that we're constantly seeing videos coming across the southern borders in both Texas and in Arizona, right?
So that makes them refugees.
So,
right? They're a refugee now because they don't want to fight when the military or
Well, I don't think so. See, I don't
want to fight. They're gonna hurt me if I don't fight for them. So let me come into your country.
Right. So there may be some of those folks that are fleeing conscription, but I think that it's interesting that they're being allowed to flee conscription, and maybe the whole point is that they're not fleeing conscription. I mean, maybe they're purposely being sent here to participate in something that's not yet been seen.
How could you say that, Sissy, about all those people that are just coming here for
Conspiracy theory,
freedom?
Wonder Twins activate.
Nobody has any ill intent, or no. You could tell Israel that.
I don't know. We'll have to wait and see. Keep your head on a swivel, folks.
We didn't get too deep on the national stuff this week, did we?
Oh, and by the way, did you hear about the declared day of global jihad that was supposed to take place today? Yeah, it hasn't happened, and I didn't figure it would. But, hey, in France, it's a powder keg.
It's always happening somewhere, Sissy.
Yeah. So, again, just keep your head on a swivel. Try to seek out fact-based information. Don't rely on the internet to tell you, what's going on. So, anyway, that's all I have.
In light of that, election time is coming up, folks. At least when we're electing people, we're dealing with different things other than whether or not they're going to change up our religious philosophy and start lopping off limbs.
Oh, well, I think they'd have a mutiny if they tried that.
Well, I don't know. The American people are asleep.
We'd be like, 2023, Viva la Revolution, right?
It's definitely a powder keg out there, folks. Say your prayers because you never know. Next thing you know, solar flares might be coming for us.
Yeah, solar eclipses.
AI's
EMPs.
coming for us.
Whew, okay.
EMPs are coming for us.
Yeah, we might have to take a sidestep from the narrative.
All right, Sissy. I hope everybody enjoyed us coming back. It's been a couple weeks. Like I said, next week Sissy will not be here. Chad will be here. That's the plan for that. But since that is going to be the case, Sissy, you got your chance to speak directly to the hearts and the minds of everybody listening right now. You got 2 weeks worth of it. What do you got?
Okay, so this is going to be over by the time you hear this, but don't look directly at the solar eclipse tomorrow. That's my word of advice.
That's what you got. Don't look directly at the sun.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. The ring of fire might burn your retinas.
All right. Well, there you have it, folks. And thanks for listening to this episode of Harvey County Talk. I was your host, Lance Gormley.
And I was your co-host, Sissy.
We'll catch you next week, everybody.